Hello, my name is Roger Pace, and in these videos, this is the third one on basic trap shooting hints. I try to collect a lot of information and condense it into a few minutes. And this week, we're going to have a look at consistency in our shooting down the line. And you might say, why consistency? Well, a few days ago, I went out to practice, last Wednesday in fact, and that's only 2 days ago. And in my first round, I shot a 24, and I was very, very happy with my 24. I was content, but self-content is the road to ruin. I had a little bit of a break, I had a cigarette, and then I went out for my next round. And because I'm thinking, I shot a 24, this is a piece of cake, I didn't really concentrate, wasn't really intense, and I shot a 15. Then one of the guys at the club said to me, Roger, you need to knuckle down. And so he told me to knuckle down. And the next round, I concentrated, not as much as I should probably, because I was still thinking about my 24, and I shot a 20. But I think that's a good example of why we need to look at consistency. Because from a 24, I went to a 15. Then I knuckled down a bit more and I shot a 20, which is where I usually shoot 20, 21. So let's have a look at how we can become more consistent in our scores. Very, very briefly, we've been through this, but gun hold and visual hold are of course very important. There's our gun hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 stations, corner, middle, and the end for 5. And 3 and 4 is in the middle. And of course our visual hold is past the gun. And we look there for our target. We don't look at the trap house, we look beyond the trap house. So that's our gun hold and visual hold, which we've been through before. So to become consistent, it's always doing the same thing over and over again. So we use the same gun. We don't swap guns if we've got 2 or 3 guns, we don't change guns every 2 or 3 weeks. We use the same chokes, 3/4 and full. We use the same ammunition. We don't go experimenting with different ammunition every few weeks. We use, if we can, the same shoes so that we get used to how we stand, and we just choose a comfortable pair of shoes. Same feet position. On the station, here's the stations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On station 1, we want to make sure that we are ready for the left-hand bird. So we've got to make sure that we can swing our body to the left-hand one on station 1. So our feet are relatively that way. It'll vary a little bit for you. Station 2, we can move them a little bit more. Station 3, we're looking that way. Station 4, we're looking more that way. Station 5, our feet are that way because we want to make sure that our body is positioned to take the right-hand bird, because the left-hand one will almost be a straightaway for us from there. So we've got to have the same feet position on every station, and you can work them out to suit you. But that's a basic guide. Change consistently for each station. Our feet change consistently for each station, and we've got to work that pattern out and do the same thing on each station. Now we've talked about gun mount, but I've never really said how to mount a gun. This is what I've been told by the people at the club, and they're very, very good shooters. So to mount our gun properly, we keep our head still. We hold the muzzle of the gun at eye level. We move the gun forward, then up to our cheek. And then we check that the mount is right using the front bead. So that's it. Head still, hold the muzzle up to eye level, move the gun forward, up to your shoulder, and check using the bead. That is our basic gun mount. And we want to make sure that that gun mount feels the same for 25 targets. If it feels a little bit different sometimes, take the gun down, remount till it feels the same. Concentration is the key. We have to concentrate every single second on every single target. If you don't concentrate, we're going to miss. We're out there for 25 targets. We concentrate on each one. We keep our cheek on the stock. And we put, this is probably the most important thing to come out of this today. And put your cheek in the same place every time. So keep cheek on the stock and put your cheek in the same place every time. When you've hit a target, fire the second shot at a big fragment. Sometimes you'll just fracture a target and there'll be a big piece flying off. Have a shot at that one, because that'll remind you to keep your cheek on the gun and not lift your head off the stock. I've seen a lot of really good AA elite shooters at the club, and they'll fire at a big fragment. And I've asked them, why? And they say, to remind me to keep my cheek on the gun all the time. Have high expectations and talk to yourself positively. If you don't think positively, then negative thoughts will get into our heads. And we don't want that. So we talk to ourselves positively. We say things like, see bird, shoot bird. Or we say, I've shot a 24, I've shot a 25, I can do it again. So you keep talking to yourself positively. Ensure that at any station you can swing your shoulders and waist equally left and right. So when you're at the station and at practice, just check that your body can move equally left and right for any left-hand bird or right-hand bird. Develop and follow the same routine every time. So what I do is I close the gun, I breathe, I mount the gun, I check with the bead, I check my visual hold position, I lean slightly forward, I call pull, focus on the target, shoot, follow through, and take a second shot. If I've missed or if there's a big fragment, I'm going to now start shooting at the fragments just to make sure that I keep my head on the stock. But developing that same routine every single time. Focus on the job and concentrate. Now that might seem pretty simple. We are not there to pass the time. We are there to break targets. The best way I can describe it is, think of it as a job. The fun comes when the round is over. So when we get on those stations, our job is to break targets and to concentrate and work hard. We can relax once we walk off the course. So that's the basic tips for improving our consistency. And as I've said in other videos, I've been shooting about 4 months, but I have watched hundreds and hundreds of videos, read a few books, and I talk to people at the club, and they're all very good shooters. And so what I've tried to do in these few minutes is condense a lot of information into just a few minutes. And I'm sure that if you practice, and me too, practice that stuff, then we will become more consistent, and hopefully my average will go from 2021 to 22-23. And in a few months' time, maybe even higher. I hope that that was useful, and I want to thank you for watching. And if the video was useful, then press like, subscribe, and it costs you nothing. This is Roger Pace, and once again, thank you for watching.